Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today is Monday, January 23 in 2023, and this is episode 56. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for this podcast. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I make an episode for you every Monday. Actually, I make 2 episodes every Monday, one in Dutch and one in English, in which I share my handwerkperikelen. That's the Dutch word for crafty adventures from the past week. Do you say the past week or the last week? From last week. That's how you say it. Today I have a lot to share. I have quite some crafting time at the moment. 2022 was a busy year for me, but I wished for a very calm and relaxing and easy 2023, and that's perfect right now. I have a lot of knitting time and a lot of crochet time, a lot of quiet time, and I feel very good with all that quiet time. So I'm a happy person right now. I'm always a happy person, but very happy person right now. So I have a lot to tell you about. And let's start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my braided cabled earwarmers. Actually, I call it a headband, but I think the pattern calls it earwarmers by Jessika Kalwei. How do you call it? I was the hairdresser. I visited the hairdresser last week, so my bangs, not my pony, my bangs are very short, and it always feels a bit, it always costs me a week or 2 and then I get used and then my hair is perfect, but now it's quite short. I have such an empty head here, so much space. But my curls are happy with it because it's very cold right now. No, it's not very cold. It's cold weather right now. My hair is happy with wet weather. Then my curls are perfect. But when it's freezing, they don't like freezing weather, so they hide themselves. So it's okay for now. Okay, then I'm wearing a shawl. Last week I showed you one of my other shawls, and in the podcast I actually never wear shawls, but I wear them all the time the rest of the day. So I want to show them to you. And this is a very old one, but absolutely one of my favorites. It's a crochet one, and the pattern is it's not, I don't know if it's really a pattern. I made it years ago, and it was a Dutch crafter, a knitter and a crocheter. Her name is Miriam Catshoek. You can find her on Instagram. I will put the link down below here. And she designed this Miriam Catshoek shawl. She named it after her own. And it's a crochet granny stitch shawl, and I really love the shape of it. Let's see, it's on this way. Yeah, it's quite easy, and you increase on both sides. You start here at the bottom with quite some chains, and then you do the granny stitch, and you go back and forth, and every end of the row or beginning, I don't know exactly, you increase, so you get this pointy shape, and I really love it. I used some brown sock yarn, and I added a crochet border with some yellow, a scallop border, but it's worn a lot, so you can see it right here, with a yellow row and then a pink row, and the shape is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It keeps my neck very warm. This winter I have a cold neck all the time. I never had it before, but this winter I have. So I really love my shawls, and because this one is not as super long, I can wear it like this, or I can wrap it around, and it's perfect. But I don't need it now because I'm always getting warm while talking, and I want to show you my finished object. This is my Ursina. I told a bit about it last week, but Ursina is a pattern by Jacqueline Cieslak, and I love it. I love it. I love it. The first time I saw a pattern of Jacqueline Cieslak was not the Ursina, but the Ursa. It was in the yarn shop Jawohl Rotterdam from Saskia, and unfortunately it doesn't exist anymore. But she had a lovely shop, and I visited once, and then she closed. But I saw the Ursa, and the Ursa was knit. That one was knit in Alefosloopie, a very cropped sweater with the same pattern, and I loved it. And I bought the Alefosloopie. I didn't bought the pattern, and it never happened. And later I discovered, Jacqueline Cieslak designed a lighter weight version of the Ursa, the Ursina, and I bought that pattern. And I think it's so nice. She designed it with several options for a sport weight or a worsted weight yarn. I knitted it in sport weight. I regret it a bit. If I would knit it again, I will knit it again, but I would have chosen Letloopie. This one is made with Istex Kampgarn, and it's a 100% merino yarn, and it isn't clear to me, still not clear to me if it's a non-superwash or a superwash. I did a split and splice test, and you can split and splice it, and I was taking pictures, and then there was a bit of snowy rain, and the drops stayed on my sweater, and there are all signals, all signs of a non-superwash yarn. But there are still people who are telling me it's a superwash yarn. So it's not clear to me. I asked Istex again. I sent them an email months ago, but I didn't receive an answer. And now I texted them on Instagram, but I don't know. I haven't heard from them. So it isn't important to me. I'm just curious. But it was a very lovely yarn to knit with. It's not the perfect yarn for this sweater, I guess, because it's not forgivable merino, and you can see here this pattern has this lovely details, a half pre stitch for the raglan, and on the back and the front and here, and this detail goes to a triangle, and I love it. It's very, very nice and perfect, and I love it. But I think when I would have knitted in Letloopie, because of the rustic feeling of the Letloopie and the fluffiness, it covers up my uneven stitches. I have this column, you can see the buttons of my dress are a bit through, but in this column, after a purl stitch, I did a knit stitch, and it's all wobbly bobbly. And when I do a knit stitch before a purl stitch, it's quite straight. And I know that is a thing. I saw some videos for it, but I was not motivated to look at them and to improve it. I just thought, let it be. And maybe when I block this sweater, it will become better. It didn't, but it's absolutely okay to me. I was a bit... I was thinking I was playing Yarn Chicken, but I didn't because I had another skein. So I will add this in my sport weight leftovers for a scrappy project when I have enough. But it's absolutely a lovely sweater. I put it on last Friday, and I have worn it every day since then, because I was a bit curious how it will last, because merino can pill. You can see it under my arms where there is a lot of moving together. It's a bit pilling, and you already see here a bit pilling. I do have a deep pillar, so I don't know if that's a problem, but we will see. It's absolutely a warm woolly layer. It's a top-down raglan sweater. I have to my head is I'm just focused on my sweater. It's all about the sweater, of course. It's a top-down raglan sweater with a V neckline, a V-shaped neckline, and I love it because I love to have some space here. The details with the half brioche stitch are just so sweet, and they are everywhere, and it's perfect for knitting. In my sleeve, or here it is. It's so nice to knit. It's not endless in the round stockinette, but every now and then, oh, I have to do something special, and that keeps me motivated. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the shape. The pattern is very clear. It gives you instructions for sport weight or worsted weight, and you can when you have a big breast. That sounds not very women friendly, a big breast, but you know what I mean. You can add darts. She describes how you can make darts with short rows for a perfect fit. So it won't be very short at the front, but it will go, your breasts fit in it perfectly. I don't have I don't have big breasts. So it wasn't, I didn't need those darts, but I think it's very nice to have them when you want a fitted sweater without being out of model because your breasts are bigger than the rest. So that's nice. And she has also, you can do a printer friendly version in which you can add your own numbers, or you can print it all the way. That's also nice. I did an in-between length because she describes a cropped version and a full length version, and I am in between, and it's actually the perfect length for me on dresses, because the cropped would be quite cropped, I guess, and full length is not. I don't wear jeans. I always wear skirts or dresses. So this is the perfect length for me, and it's quite new. I was not a cropped fan. I always make my hand knits, my sweaters too long, and I will tell you about later. So the pattern, it was not clear to me if you have to pick up the stitches for the neckline, and I was doubting, does he mean I have to pick up and bind off immediately, or pick up all the stitches and then bind off? But so I did the second one, but I think it would have been the first one, but I didn't want to pick up the stitches again. So I added an I-cord bind off, and I really love the I-cord bind off. So I also did it at the sleeves and at the bottom. And I absolutely will do this again because I love a good border. The sleeves are quite short. I made a mistake, I guess. I knitted them and bound them off, and then when I was sure I had enough yarn, I picked up the stitches, but I always use a bigger needle for binding off, and I would have should have ripped out one row more because this is the bind off row and it didn't block out, but it's okay. So I added a little bit, a few centimeters, I guess one pattern repeat, 12 rows I guess, and the sleeves are very fitted and short. And I prefer my sleeves to be very long with a very long cuff. But I made these bracelet length a little bit shorter even. I love to wear a lot of bracelets, and normally they are hidden in my sleeves, but this was too narrow, I guess. But also it's for now in winter, it's a warm woolly layer under my cardigans mainly. But I can see me wearing this in summer, or on cold summer days, or early in the spring or early autumn. And I guess then, it's better to have a little bit shorter sleeves. So I'm very happy with this Ursina sweater. It was a pleasure to knit, and I absolutely will make another one. I want to make one in a bit of this color, Let Lopey, but I will do it in September when it's almost autumn or fall, whatever you say, because that color is more for that time of the year. So I will make it then. And now I will wear this with a lot of pleasure, and yeah, I'm very happy. Last week I told you about the little waistcoat. In garter stitch I was knitting. I would knit for my daughter, and it is finished. No, it's not finished, but the knitting is finished. I finished it on Friday, and before I soon sew it together, I want to block it because it's a garter stitch and merino yarn held double. So I was a bit afraid it would grow, and I thought, let me block it before I sew it together, so I can the armholes won't be too big, and that I have better measurements. So I blocked it on Friday, and when I block it, I put it in a not a basket, a tile. No, a tile is a stapel, an emmer, and I put it in in water, in hot water with some eucalan, and normally I will let it rest for a night. But now I was a bit in a hurry, I had a rush, so a few hours it was in it, and then I put it in the washing machine on the, we call it centrifugeren, on the high rotation. I don't know the English name, on the high rotation, and to spin all the water out. And I always do that with my hand knits. It never went wrong, so I think it works. For me it works. And then I put it on my blocking mats. But and I told myself, don't start another knitting work before you finish that. So wait till it's dry and look at the other works. But it's still not dry. It is still wet. So it isn't finished. I put it from our bedroom downstairs. Our bedroom is very cold. I'm sitting at our bedroom right now. It's very cold. And downstairs we have a fireplace, and downstairs is also quite cold, but in the evening we will put on the fireplace, and then it will be hot. So I think it will be dry tomorrow, but it took some more time than I expected. But on Saturday I was still waiting, and I was still thinking it would be dry in the evening or on Sunday. So I thought, let's see what I don't start a new knitting work, but just finish some works in progress. And then I found this little cutie. I finished it. Oh, it's such a lovely crochet plant. A few episodes ago, quite a few episodes ago, I told you I made quite some crochet cacti in the past, and they were all little presents for friends. And I didn't have one myself, and I never make one for myself, but I do love them. So I thought, let's do a make along. It's a Sarah Flora make along, in which you can make your plants, if they are crochet or knitted or embroidery, or you can even make a flowery blanket, whatever. It's a Sarah Flora make along, and I thought then I will make myself some plants, but I did not really. I did a bit. I do have some, but I started this one, and it's called, in Dutch it's called Hottentot. And I love that name. There's also a Latin name, but I don't remember. But Hottentot is a little cacti plant. There it goes. I used a pattern from a Dutch crochet book. It was gifted to me by these ladies, Marjolein and Marjolein. And it calls Green Fingers. And there are all patterns for all kind of plants. This is the Hottentot. This one I made. And the pattern tells you to add some iron thread, I don't know if that's the right word. You first crochet some pieces and then you give it some extra stability with this thread. And you also have this in green, but this I found this in our barn. We have a little barn. I don't know if you call it barn, in which my husband keeps all his stuff. I found this, and green is better, but I want to use what we have. So I use this, and it was too thin to put through my crochet pieces. So I crochet. The crochet terms are so confusing me because they are different in English and in American crochet language. But I crocheted around this thread, and then I did a pattern, and you can curl them up, and you have the pieces with some stability so they can stand up. You can also make them without this, and then you have more a hanging plant. It's also nice, but I want this one. I really love it. It's so fun. And we have above the fireplace, I can put all my cacti, and in summer, I do love plants. We have a lot of plants in our house, but they don't like the hot place above the fireplace. So these ones are perfect for there. So I did that, and when I put it together, I will add a little clip at the end, and I will the pattern didn't tell you to do this. They had another way, and now I understand why, but I have to put it together and then sew it on. It was quite hard to do, and I don't want to touch it a lot because I'm afraid that it will collapse. It looks a bit stable, but I'm not quite sure it is. But you don't have to touch it. It's not a toy. It's just to look, and it's very nice. So it was good to finish that. And then I also found 2 cacti which need a finishing touch. These 2 little guys. This one I made a flower, and this one I made a flower and some, there was a word for it. You told me, but I forgot. In Dutch we call it aarde. Potgrond. So these little tiny fellows are ready, and they are all together with another one. And I love it. So that was quite nice. I also started a new cacti. No, not a cacti, a new plant. It's called a pea plant. Peas, the little tiny green things. In Dutch we say Erwtenplantje, a pea plant. You make several of this, it's also a pattern in this book. You make a lot of these long things. And then you have a hanging plant, and this is with a little bit thicker yarn, but I am crocheting with some linen yarn I had in my stash, actually for making myself a summer tea, but it never happened. So I have a lot of this. It's Lang Yarns Crealino. It was gifted to me when I worked for Lang Yarns, and because I have a lot, I can make a very big hanging plant. And it will cost me forever, but it's in this basket. It is in our dining room. We don't have a separate room for dining, but I think you call it. We have the table where we have dinner, and it's next to me, so I can pick it up when I'm waiting. Also when I'm cooking and I have a little bit of waiting time, I pick this up, and I made several strands. Do you call it strands? That's how you call it. I made several strands, and they are hanging in our living room. And when I have enough, I will finish the plant, and it can. We can find a nice place for it. So I love doing it. So it's a Sarah Flora make along is alive again. And I finished. It's not really finishing, but I learned a new skill this weekend, and because I wasn't allowing myself to start a new project. I was searching for, okay, what can I do next? And I have several scrappy projects. I have a scrappy shawl I started on January 1st. I will show it next week. It is growing, slowly growing. I pick it up now and then. It's my car knitting project. Normally I would knit socks, but now I knit on the scarf with my magic yarn ball. I also have my scrappy blankets. My Northeasterly blankets is I don't have scraps for that because it's my memory blanket, and it's all right to the point I am right now. And I also have a cozy memory blanket with the little squares, but I didn't feel like working on that one. I don't need a blanket. And then I saw, I was watching an episode of a Dutch podcaster, and she was mending socks, and I want to do that for quite a while. I don't have a lot of socks with holes in it. I have my Birkenstocks inside. These are indoors. In summer I wear these also outdoors. And I have another pair of leather shoes, indoor shoes. So I don't have my socks to the floor. They are not connected to the floor, so I think they will stand longer. But my daughter had a few pair of socks with holes in it, and I also these are one of my first pairs, and it's a natural sock yarn without nylon, so that's a bit more fragile. No, that's not a good word, but you wear holes in it a lot faster. And then I found a little video. I will edit the link down below. There are separate. I saw you call it darning. I thought mending socks, but I also saw a lot of darning. So I have a little tool, and it's downstairs. I forgot it, but maybe I can add a picture. A little wooden, we say in Dutch, we say wooden mushroom, but it is an old one, and it was gifted to me by someone, and I always saved it. And now I was very happy with it. I saw a lot of Dutch ladies also have a little thing. You can buy a little tool, but I have the mushroom. You don't need anything. You just need a scrap of sock yarn and something round. One of them I made with an orange because the hole was too big for my wooden mushroom, so I put in an orange, and that worked pretty good. So you don't need anything. You need a needle, a woolly needle, and some sock yarn scraps, and you need a hole in your sock. Little detail. So it wasn't really a hole, but just it was very thin, and it would be a hole quite soon. So I made it, I mended it, I darned it, and it was such fun to do. I choose a contrasting color because I love the look of it. I don't have this yarn anymore, and it was important for me so I could see what I was doing with a contrasting color, and I really loved it. So first I did the toes from these socks, and then I did the socks for my daughter, and she didn't want a contrasting color, but it is contrasting still. So she chose the blue. And it was quite a big thing, and another one there. It was such a lovely thing to do. This one was only this sock with a little hole in it, and it was such a pity this one didn't have a hole. And then I was looking at these socks, and I saw that there were also very thin parts at the heel, so I did these also, and it was such a satisfying thing to do. And it surprised me because I thought mending socks would be boring, would be hard, would be time consuming. It was neither of all. It was fun to do, it was a quick thing to do, and it wasn't hard at all. And it's such an interesting thing that you can put those things in your head in the hard to do box or in the boring box, and you I do that a lot, not only with crafting things, also with other things. And then they are in that box, and every time you come and you see that box, I think, oh no, don't put open, keep the box closed. I don't like what's in it. So these were laying in my living room in a basket, not in a box, but in a basket. And every time I saw them, I thought, oh no, oh, it's boring, it's hard. I don't want to think about it. Don't want to see them. But and it costs energy. These kind of things cost energy. So you don't want to see it, you don't want to learn it, but they are there. You can't ignore them. And I don't want to throw these away. So this Saturday, I sat down with a video and my darning needle and my wooden mushroom and my holes in my socks and some scrap yarn. And I discovered it was such a fun thing to do. And that reminds me, there are a lot of other things in my boring and hard to do boxes, which also are maybe fun and satisfying to do. So I love that I can experience that kind of things through crafting, through my knitting and through my crochet. And then it gives me some confidence to tackle the other things too. So I was a very happy person and I wished, oh, I want holes in all my socks. And then yesterday, my eldest daughter, she didn't knew I was mending socks, but I saw her and she said, oh, I have a problem. There's a big hole in your sock. Oh no! And these socks are very dear to me. I didn't make these myself. They were gifted by a lovely viewer of the Dutch podcast, and she sent it to me as a surprise. And it was such heartwarming. It came last year, not 2021, on Christmas Eve, and it was the perfect moment. And they make me very, very happy. But I don't wear them as house socks. I only wear them when I'm on the couch, lazy on the couch, or in bed. So they are knit with lead lopi and some strand of mohair. But I never walk a lot on them. But my 16-year-old daughter, she was at home. She was not feeling good a few weeks ago, so she stayed at home. She didn't went to school, and she had a lazy outfit, and she had a bit of cold feet. And I said, oh, I have something nice for you. And since then, she wears them all day, and she walks everywhere in the house all day. And there was a big hole, and I thought, oh, I have asked for this. I want holes in all my socks, but I didn't want them in these. So it was a little detail, but I sat down with it and I put my favorite color, I love brown, and I put it out a scrap. And my mushroom was the hole was too big for my mushroom, so I put an orange in the sock and I mended a double layer mending because it was such a big area, but it was very happy. And the lady in the video also said, your mending doesn't have to be perfect. It's not don't worry when it's messy, because it will felt and it's okay. And that it was exactly what I wanted to hear, what I need to hear, because my perfectionist says to me, oh, it's messy, I don't like it. And she said, it's okay. And I told my perfectionist, it's okay. And it was very satisfying to do. So now I don't have socks with holes anymore. I won't ask for them too, because but I was walking this morning, and then these are my mittens. And I knit these a few years ago. This is the world's simplest mittens from Think and Knit. I knit them in Elefos Lopi and I love them. They are very nice and warm. But I was walking this morning and then I discovered this. And normally I would say, oh no, I have a hole. And this time I thought, oh yes, I have a hole. I can mend it. I don't know what has happened there, but the yarn is very thin. I don't know, but I will mend it, and then I will cut off this yarn tail. It's bothering me for months now, forever, but I never cut it down. Every time I walk with my dog, I see this yarn end and it's bothering me, and the only thing I have to do, I have to put it inside or cut it off. but I don't do it. I don't know, and it's bothering me still. So I will fix that. I will mend the hole and I will cut the yarn tail, and then I can wear them again. And mending my socks is absolutely, it gives such a satisfying feeling, and yeah, it's absolutely, I love to do it in contrasting yarn because you can see that these pieces were used a lot, so there's a lot of extra love in it, and mending it, I just love it. It's so nice. I had a Dutch lady. She told me when it's in the toe or in the heel, I cut it off and knit a new one. And I thought, it's mending is much less work than knitting a whole new toe. And when you have a lot to mend, and then I can imagine you cut off the toe, but I will always start mending because it's such an easy peasy, simple and fast thing to do. So it was really, I love it. My heart really makes a jump that I finally learned this and enjoyed it to do. So if you are afraid of mending too, believe me, it is not. It is easy. It is not hard to learn. It is not time consuming, and it's very satisfying. So, okay. Okay, then my cacti were finished, my my socks were mended, and then my waistcoat still, for my daughter, still wasn't dry. So Saturday night I thought, okay, now I have to work on my scrappy project, or I can cast on a new project. And of course I did. Because I don't need blankets, I also don't need clothes, but I really want to start something new. Last year in November, I guess, I got a question from Edna, from the Dutch part of Edna. The lady Barbara asked me if I would try some new yarn, and I would love to. She sent me these skeins of Svensk wool, 4 threads, and it's from Järbo. And she showed me some patterns, and I really loved it. My head goes faster than my mouth. Let me see what they were called. The West Strand sisters. I think these are 2 Swedish ladies. They designed 3 patterns for Järbo for this yarn: a sweater, a vest, and a pair of mittens. And they call it the Glaciär series, and it's an outdoor series. So a sweater and the vest, they have a longer back, because when you have to sit down or your back is warm, and they have all this textured pattern. And I really love the Glaciär vest. It's a bit confusing for me. In Dutch we call a cardigan a vest, and a vest we call a spencer. And there is a Dutch pattern, the Penelope Spencer, and I want to make it. It's on my list for 2 years now. I've made one, but not in a very nice wool. So I want to make one in Elfosloopy. But now this pattern came by. She asked me, and I saw the vest, and it has a color. And my neck is cold all the time right now, so I really would love to have a vest with a color. So she sent me all. The yarn and the pattern were gifted to me, and I cast it on last Saturday, and it is really a pleasure. Oh yeah, I choose the color brown. There are quite some beautiful colors, beautiful green and brick color, but I have chosen a neutral color which matches all my cardigans, so I can wear it under my cardigan when I go outside. I only wear a coat when it's very wet or very, 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 very cold, but I prefer wearing I have a Trista cardigan, the Trista sweater from Jennifer Steingas. I sticked it, and I also felted it a bit, so that's my main cardigan, to wear outside cardigan, and I really love only the woolly layer. I also have woolly layers under it and a big shawl and my mittens. When I'm when I'm walking, I get overheated when I wear a lot clothes, and wool is perfect. It's the regular temperature, regulation of temperature is perfect. My second skein is wounded. So let me see. I have a really lovely project bag. And it's nice to tell these are made by a friend of mine. She makes very beautiful project bags. Her name is Ingrid van Leuk Gemaakt. And this is a vintage sheet of my children. I used to have a lot of vintage fabric, but I'm not a sewer. I love to collect it, but I'm not a sewer. So I gave it to her and she made the most beautiful project bags. And also the inside is... I still have a blanket of this one for our dog, and every night our dog, when her blanket is on the couch, she may lay on the couch, and so it's nice. I have it in a project bag too. But I casted on this vest, and it's really, really a quick and fun pattern. It's top down. I knitted on 4mm needles, and the label of the yarn tells you to knit it with 5. So I guess they have chosen a 4mm because it's an outdoor vest. So it's a bit of a... the fabric is thicker, steadier, I guess. But this winter... it's our outdoor temperatures in our house. So I can wear an outdoor vest indoor. But I really love, I don't knit a lot of textured patterns, I realized, but I really love doing it. It's such a fun pattern. So I started with the back, and then I picked up stitches for the front and for the left front and then the right, and almost at the point I can join in the round. And then I won't make I will make a cropped version about this length, and I will not add a longer back because I won't wear it on my pants, so I don't need that. So I will knit until it has the right length, and then I will knit the collar and the ribbing for the armholes, and it will be finished. And I'm looking forward to wear it. It feels it's steady and warm and cozy, and I really am looking forward to put this woolly layer on. I've chosen the smallest size, extra small, because the pattern tells you to do is designed with a 9cm of positive ease, but I wanted fitted, and the other size was 1cm less. The measurement, the bust circumference was 1cm less than my bust circumference, so that was 1cm of negative ease, and I hope that will make a perfect fit for me. But I didn't swatch, I didn't fit already. I will fit when I joined in the round, and yeah. So, but I think it will be okay. It will be okay. So, lovely pattern. I will spend some time on it this week, maybe finish it. That would be lovely. And then I have another project for this week. This is my Sparky sweater, a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and I knitted this one I think in 2021, and it's really a lovely sweater. I love the fabric. It's a sport weight fabric, but with all over color work, so it's very thick and nice and warm, and I love the colors, but it's too long. I knitted it with seeing me wearing it on my jeans. I have 2 pairs of flare jeans, but I'm not a jeans wearer. I only wear my jeans in summer with slippers when it's not too hot, and I don't wear this sweater in summers, but it's too long on my skirts and dresses. So it is my plan to rip out and shorten it. And then I will remove the pockets. I do love the pockets, but they would come too high. I want, do you see how much longer it is? I think I want it about this length, so I have to rip out and add the border again, and the pockets will be gone. That's a pity, but then I will have a sweater I wear because I love it and it feels so warm and nice. But now it's only laying in my closet. That's the word. I do have quite a lot of sweaters, mainly sweaters, only sweaters, which I don't wear because my knitting style, my clothing style changed, or my they are too wide, or the neckline is too high, or they are often too long, and it is my plan to check if I can. I have some good experiences with just adding or changing a little detail, and then a garment can become your favorite again. So I want to check all the things in my closet I don't wear, and check if I can do a modification, and then we will be friends again. And if it don't work out, I always can rip it out and reuse the yarn, or I can give away the piece. So I will try to give these garments laying in my closet some attention this year. So it feels very good. So I think, oh yeah, it's the 23rd of January. So that means time's flying. Next week I will start with my February filmpjes. I will make an episode every day in February. Every year I see all the Vlogmas episodes, all the Vlogmas on YouTube, and I really love it. And I always am feeling that I want to do it too, but not in December. It's such a busy month, and for me it's not the right time to do that. I have other things to do, because it's quite a time-consuming thing to make an episode every day. So but I do love a challenge now and then, so I thought, which month will suit me then? And I thought February is quite a boring month. It's the end of winter here in the Netherlands, and we're all longing for spring and sunlight, and there are not a lot of festivities in February, and I thought, let's do it then. It's also the shortest month of the year, only 28 days, so that's also a good thing. So I will make a little short episode, a little short February filmpje every day in February. I will do it in Dutch and in English, and that's quite a challenge. So I don't have a plan. I'm just doing it. I want to show you my crafty life, my knitting and crochet life. Of course, I have other parts of my life. I have my family life, my social life. Do I have other lives? I don't know, not at the moment. I don't have a working life right now, and I love it. But I will keep them for myself because it's about the crafting I share. But my crafting is a big part of my life right now, so that's nice. So I will take some footage, I guess you say it like that. I will film some stuff, I will chat a bit, and my biggest challenge is to keep it short. So every day you have a little 15 minutes of me, if you want me every day. I will show you my daily knitting and crochet life, what I'm doing, and I will cast on the Felix cardigan at the 1st of February, and I invited you. If you would like to knit it with me, you are welcome, and you can use the episodes to share your ideas or your experience with the Felix cardigan or your questions. And I can't promise I can answer them, because I think I'm quite busy with the episodes making and the editing and all the stuff, but maybe other people can, and I always can read the comments and say something about it next day when you have a question, and I can show you my work, and I will share my progress and my problems or happiness with the Felix cardigan with you. So and it's not, I hope to finish mine in 1 month. Normally it's not a problem, but I have no idea how much time it will cost to film every day. But it's not a must. There are no rules. It's not an official knit along. There are no prizes. It's just knitting together, and with there's no hashtag. There's no hashtag. I won't make one. I don't have time to keep up with it. It's only the YouTube, and you can comment and connect with other people if you want to, and if you don't, it's ook okay. And if you don't want to knit a Felix cardigan, it's also okay. Ook is a Dutch word. So it's all okay, but it's just, I think it's nice to knit together, and yeah, you will see. So just knitting and having fun and have a chat every day, and it's my idea. You can, when you have a cup of coffee, you can put on my episode, so we have a cup of coffee together. So that will be the plan, and it's absolutely a challenge to not chat longer than a minute of 15 because I love chatting. When I start, I can't stop. So that would be the biggest challenge, but we will see. And next Monday I have a regular episode because it's January then, and I will show you my yarn for the Felix cardigan. I also have buttons. I have several options for the color. I will knit it in Let Lopi, but I have several colors in my stash. And I'm quite sure which color I want to knit. But I have a few days to be really sure, and I will show it to you next week. And I will grab all my yarn and my buttons and my needles and the pattern and a project bag, and or I will keep it in my basket. I prefer to keep my work in a basket. And yeah, I'm very looking forward to February. So it's nice. I also... when I was thinking about knitting this Ursina again in autumn, because of this color, I thought, which colors suits this time of the year? And then immediately I thought of white, because it's the beginning of the year and beginning of the spring, early spring. And there I have a sweater and the cardigan, not the Felix cardigan, but I have some white knitting in mind. So maybe, I don't know if I have the time for it, but maybe I will cast on a white sweater, or a light sweater, or a white cardigan. But we will see, Okay, I think I told you everything I want to share, so I wish you a very, very nice week, and I will see you next week. Bye bye!